Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful morning. I'm on Highway 12 again, headed back towards Boulder to access the road I need to get to the trailhead. So I'm going to be doing the Upper Muley Twist Canyon hike. I think, depending on where you park, it's either 10 miles or 16 miles. Not quite sure what the road's going to be like, so I don't know where I'll be able to get parked at the moment. But I'm going to do it as an overnight, so I've got my bag packed for one night. In the backcountry, I've got my backcountry camping permit, and the weather forecast is pretty good. So keep my fingers crossed that it stays like it is at the moment. These beautiful blue skies and the cotton wool clouds again. So I've got about another 25 or 30 miles to get to Boulder and then turn off onto the Burr Trail Road. And that's quite a long road. I think there'll be quite a few pull-offs and sort of like views and scenic turnouts and things like that. So I would imagine it's going to be mid-afternoon before I start hiking. It's about 11 a.m. now. Had a nice late start, nice lazy start. I'm on holiday, after all. Right, well, I have just driven through the most spectacular canyon that I have ever seen. That includes the Grand Canyon as well. I think the fact that I was driving through it, obviously something you can't do at the Grand Canyon, made it all the more impressive. On the way back tomorrow, I will try and remember to set the camera up on a hyperlapse as long as I've got some battery left, because it was spectacular. Like I say, absolutely stunning. Huge, steep, red rock walls on both sides, twisting, narrow turns. Just beautiful. I'm still on a Burr Trail Road. I'm going to be on it for quite a while, and it is an incredibly beautiful place. Really stunning. There is so much going on here, landscape-wise and views-wise. And it's a Saturday today, and there really aren't that many vehicles and people down here. If you want to escape the crowds, I would say come down here, definitely. The road so far has been paved, and I think it carries on being paved quite a way. You certainly don't need a high clearance four-wheel drive for this section. I've just seen somebody in a Ford Fiesta, and they were having no problems whatsoever. It's just like a normal road. But this view from here, I'm going to be dropping down, obviously, a little bit. Man, it's just the perfect day for it. It really, really is. I've got high hopes for this hike. It should be a nice way to finish off my little American adventure, I think. Well then, I've managed to find my way to the start of the Upper Muley Twist Canyon trail. I've parked in the low clearance two-wheel drive section because I went a little ways up the road thinking I could make it, and nah, I don't want to risk it. So for the sake of a few miles walking, I'm going to leave the car here and walk up to the actual trailhead itself, up the 4x4 road. This place is absolutely stunning. Let me show you. It's going to be a strange one, this hike, doing it without the GPS navigation on the phone. I do know one thing. I know that there's no water sources at all on the trail. So I'm carrying, I think I've got somewhere around 5.5 litres of water on me. That will have to do. Got way more than a day's worth of food with me, because I know what I've been like eating recently. I've been eating loads. So already I can see my first stone arch. I think according to the map it's called Peekaboo Arch. There's so many peekaboo arches in Utah, but that little one up there I believe is a peekaboo. I gotta say, I am really looking forward to this. This promises to be a beautiful night's camp. Find myself a nice little spot somewhere. I've got plenty of time, so I don't have to worry about time constraints. This is another little parking area. It was full, so I went down a bit further and parked next to somebody else. Anyway, hopefully I'm going to be able to show you some pretty nice scenery. Well, this is a very different experience from the PCT, but I have to admit, I'm enjoying it just as much. My final episode, day 149, premiered last night, and I made sure I was in a hotel so I could get Wi-Fi to watch it at the same time as a few other people. It was real nice to see some of my regular viewers commenting on there. Nice to see that people enjoyed getting to the finish line with me. Thank you all very much once again. It was, as I said, an absolute pleasure to share the trail with you all. I need to catch up on thank yous. I'm sure that half of these people won't be watching anymore, but nevertheless, Sue, Leslie, Brad L, Barbu, Steve C, Julia, someone, Penmith. Thank you all so much for your support on Buy Me a Coffee. You've all been amazing. And it really does make me happy knowing that the videos have been well received and enjoyed, for the most part. Hopefully, if none of you have ever hiked in this area, you might enjoy the scenery on this trail as well. I am really hoping for a clear night tonight in the sky, because I would imagine that out here there is going to be next to no light pollution, and we could have a few decent star photographs, hopefully. Got the tripod with me, the selfie stick and the stand. I'd very much like to get a couple of pictures on my last night. So it's Saturday today. I'll be camping tonight, obviously, and then my flight leaves Seattle on Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday, I think it's about 5:30 p.m. So I need to have the rental car back in Seattle by about 2:30 p.m. that afternoon. So the next few days after this are basically just going to be me driving back up to Seattle. Look at the weathering patterns on this rock. That is just beautiful. How long has that taken? How many years? Man, I love this scenery. Well, I've made my way up the trail to the 4x4 parking lot. There's 3 vehicles here. 2 that side of me and 1 this side. So to my right, there's a little trail going to the Strike Valley overlook, and then the trail in front of me is what I want, the Upper Muley Twist Canyon. Nine miles. So a big difference with this trail compared to what I've been used to on the PCT. This one isn't signed or waymarked at all. I think there's a section where you get onto some slick rock, kind of along the top of the valley, and I believe the guide said there's some cairns marking a path there. But it does sound like there's quite a bit of follow your nose type orientation. So at the moment it's pretty easy because you're just following this wash, and there's footprints here and there that you can see people have left. It's not a really well traversed trail because it's just so far out of the park. It's not something that most visitors will be coming to do. But at the moment it's certainly been delivering on the scenery. So I've just noticed this on the ground. You may think it's mud, but it's not. It's actually solid sandstone. And the marks that you can see are the actual ripple marks from the water that deposited the grains of sand that formed the stone. So that's, I believe, I may be absolutely wrong, but I believe that was deposited in a shallow water environment. Maybe the edge of a lake or something like that. Well, I've definitely taken a wrong turn somewhere because I'm definitely not supposed to be here. I'm pretty sure I know where the trail is. I'm just heading back that direction now. I've come to this viewpoint that's, well, I'll let you see for yourselves. Isn't that stupendous. It's the distances that you can see that get me, the distances and the size of things. Very, very impressive. So we've got this absolutely colossal canyon wall behind me. Just goes on and on. And then the section that I'm walking into now is pretty cool looking. Not bad, is it? Well, I have been totally and utterly wrong. My apologies. That junction where I said the trail diverges into two and you can take the left or the right one, that's not true. Don't take the left one like I did. That's got nothing to do with this trail at all. I want to take the right one, which is the one that I'm on at the moment, and I've just passed the sign which I was looking for the rim trail. So that would be where I turned right if I wanted to, and that would be the one that took me up steeply to the rim to start with. The way that I'm going now is the one with the gradual climb. So I'm hopeful that I can get, this is so cool by the way, I'm hopeful that I can get to the end of it, get up the bypass route, because I don't fancy climbing the handholds that are in the slot canyon with the backpack on. If I can get onto the top somewhere before it gets dark, find somewhere to sleep up there with a nice view, hopefully. It's about 5:45 at the moment, and it's about 2.3 miles up the canyon I need to get, so should be doable, unless there's no major obstacles or incidents. So this must be, quite obviously, the start of the section called the Narrows. Now, what I'm looking for is a cairn on one side that marks the bypass route, because as you can see, there's little chance I'm going to fit through here. Wow, how cool is this? Right, I have to stop recording to climb over this thing. Well, I really didn't want to make another mistake. That nook that you can see down there, that is the slot canyon that I was just in. I didn't climb over that boulder. I got the map out and checked, and basically that just carries on to a dead end unless you're a mountain goat or a climber, a serious climber. You can't get out at the other end. With time getting on and darkness kind of approaching, I'm mindful that I want to get to the top. So I managed to find the cairns. I thought it was going to be a big cairn. It wasn't. It was a tiny little cairn right at the start of the Narrows that leads up this this slick rock. So I've come up quite a steep section already, and I'm going to carry on following these little cairns. So look at these awesome rock formations. The other side of the Slot Canyon. Oh. A little bit of sunlight spilling through the gap there as well. That's really nice. Wow. What a lovely colour. That is really nice. I've lost sight of the cairns now though. They seem to have disappeared. Well, that was exhilarating and scary at the same time. Kind of felt like you're on a secret trail that nobody else knew about. The actual Slot Canyon itself is hidden down here, and the bypass route that I took was around like the side of the canyon where those trees are. You kind of come round there. At times it's incredibly steep and you're just walking on like slick rock, which thankfully these shoes seem to be gripping really well to, unless there's a kind of a layer of sand or something on top of it, and then it gets rather slippery, just like that there. But I think that's mainly the bypass route done. I'm not 100% certain, but I guess we're looking somewhere now. Kind of follow this wash. There's still cairns to follow, so that's good. And there only seems to be one set of them now as well, where there is, on that bypass route, there was at least 2 sets. But yeah, looking for somewhere, hopefully with a view, to sleep. Well everybody, I made it by the skin of my teeth. Probably been less hiking, more scrambling today, I think. Definitely the most amount of wrong turns I've taken on any hike ever. It's not signposted at all. There's like 2 signposts on the entire trail. It's crazy. And one of them is really easily missed as well. But I'm kind of in the area where I want to sleep tonight. I've seen somewhere where I could put the tent already, but I wouldn't have a view from there. So I'm going to go and check out the end of this outcrop up here. See if there's somewhere I can cowboy up there. It's been a glorious afternoon though, and the views have just been immense, absolutely immense. Kind of looking forward to the hike back down tomorrow. I've got to hike back down into the wash and then retrace my steps back to the car. It's just unbelievable up here. I can't wait to see what it looks like in the morning. Morning everybody. Wow. I was going to cowboy camp last night and then I started hearing thunder and seeing lightning. So I thought I better just put the tent up to be on the safe side. You can see it's just there behind me. It's quite difficult putting one of these tents up where it's just slick rock everywhere. I managed to find like a depression where there was a nice collection of sand and I could get the stakes in far enough to anchor them with rocks. It did get quite windy last night actually, but didn't cause any problems at all. There was lightning everywhere. Because the view up here is just so expansive, you could just see flashes of light on the horizon, like in about 3 or 4 different places. It was pretty cool. The stars, oh man, the stars. It was really clear to start with, and then it clouded over a bit, some quite big thick clouds as well. And then I woke up about 3:30 this morning and it was just clear as a bell. Excuse me. Oh, I woke up several times during the night, but ended up getting some decent sleep. Got a few star photos. I will put them up on the screen. One of them was actually really cool because I managed to get this tree that's behind me. Just kind of by accident. I got it in the viewfinder and thought, oh, that looks quite cool. So it actually came out looking really well. But the main event this morning is the sunrise, which looks like it's going to be going on in this direction in front of me. So I've got a cup of coffee, I've got my MetRx bar that I got from the gas station. I'm going to wander over and take a few photos and set the time lapse up for the sunrise. So I'll just give you a little look around before I go over there. This is the top of the ridge that I got to last night. You couldn't see very well because of the time of night I got here. As usual, it was last thing at night. But this is the little depression that I was camped in. It's got a nice sandy floor to it. Nice little bit of shelter as well, just down in this dip. I think it made all the difference with the wind last night. That's the direction I came from last night. That's where the canyon route brings you up to the top of the rim. And then over here, you've got, wow, it's just starting to look amazing already. You've got the huge, huge canyons down in the bottom there. And then the mountains over this side with the sun coming up behind them. And then at the top of this, you've got all this slick rock. To get back to the car today, I have to go along this slick rock for about, I think it's roughly 2 miles from where I am. And then I drop down into the wash again, and that brings me back to the area where those two trails split, where I made my mistake yesterday. And then it's maybe like, 3 or 4 miles down to the car. So I'm going to have to be careful with water. I've only got about 1.5 litres left. So that's going to have to get managed this morning. But there's loads of liquid in the car, as long as the car's still there. I've got to admit, I hate leaving my vehicle unattended, whether it's my vehicle or a rental, especially in just random places. I've had a few break-ins in the past, and it's just made me really, really paranoid about it. So I'm hoping everything's going to be all right when I get back to the Jeep. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that sunrise as much as I have. I've taken so many photographs. That was just beautiful to sit and watch. The sunlight still hasn't got down into the canyons there. Take a while for it to get high enough to reach into the bottom. All I've got left to do now is go back to the tent and pack up, and then work my way along this ridge and down back into the wash. I should say this will be my last filming whilst I'm in the States. Nobody's going to want to see me driving from Utah to Washington. That's just boring. So this trip will be my last bit of filming. So I hope you've enjoyed it, folks. And we've got a little bit to go yet to get back to the vehicle. And then I'm looking forward to doing that hyperlapse, driving back through that gorgeous, gorgeous canyon that I didn't show you yesterday. I don't want to leave. I really don't want to leave this spot. It is absolutely magical. What a place to camp. Well, it's 8:15 and I'm all packed up. And I've just come to the edge of the ridge to try and give you some sense of just how big this place is. So that's looking the direction that I'm kind of hiking now to get back out. And then obviously that was where the sun came up this morning that we watched the time lapse. And then all the way back up the valley, it's just incomprehensible. It's huge. What an absolutely stunning place. Totally recommend this hike. It's not for the whole family. There are some steep sections, some drop-offs, there's some scrambling involved. Most of it is up slick rock, so as long as you've got good sticky tread on your shoes, you should be fine, even with a backpack. But man, oh man, if you do this hike, make sure that you get your backcountry camping permit and make sure that you come and sleep on top of the ridge, because it is just the most amazing experience. I have been so incredibly lucky on this trip. For the last 5.5 months, I have experienced some of the best things, scenery-wise, trail-wise, camping-wise, people-wise, that this country has got to offer. And I am so very, very lucky. Zoomed in a bit, maybe give you a bit more detail to look at. You're probably sick of seeing the same scene, but unfortunately I'm not, so you're going to have to put up with it, sorry. Whoa. Amazing. Well, I'm finally working my way back down into the canyon, into the wash. I was getting a bit worried because it seemed like I'd been walking for ages and not seen the sign, and then it popped up, so I was very relieved. So this is going to take me down to where I set off at the junction yesterday. You can see over the other side there, those rocks are looking incredibly reddy orange. I'm pretty sure they weren't looking like that last night. And that also there, that big hole, I think that is called Saddle Arch. When you actually get down below, it is actually an arch, and it does look like a saddle. So there you go, common sense prevails. But yeah, I'm just going to work my way down this gradually, and once I'm back down into the wash, it's all easy walking back to the vehicle. Well, here I am back at the two-wheel drive parking lot, which is completely empty now. One final last look at where we've come from. One of the best hikes I've ever done. Said it before, easily, without a doubt. I've just seen the chap headed up there. His wife was walking in front. He was headed up in a nice, shiny, spangly, bright Humvee. So I stopped and had a little chat with him, but it's time for the moment of truth. 1, see if the vehicle's still here, and 2, see if it's still in one piece, if it is. And, well, to start with, it's still there. So that's a good sign. In one piece. Hey! Hopefully back window intact. Yes, success, guys. Success. Very happy bunny. All right, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed the drive through that canyon, and I hope you enjoyed that fantastic hike in Capitol Reef. I am going to sign off for now. I have no idea when I'm going to be back with videos. Probably when I'm back home. But I've got about an 1,100-mile drive now from Utah. I'm just on the outskirts of Capitol Reef at the moment. I've got to get up to Seattle Airport, SeaTac, by Tuesday afternoon. So I've got some driving to do. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you do like hiking and things like that and the outdoors, and you haven't seen my PCT series, please do go and check it out. I hiked from the Mexican border all the way up to the Canadian border, over 2,500 miles, and I vlogged pretty much every day that I was hiking. So if that's something you're interested in, there's 149 episodes of that for you to get through. Anyway, folks, as I said, thank you all very much for watching and joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure being in the States this time. I'm not going to film anymore whilst I'm on the way to the airport. It's pretty pointless. I think I'll have a rest and a break for now. But take care of yourselves, and whatever you're doing, wherever you go, happy trails, guys. See you next time.